This is Garlic Bread signing on to do a custom card set review for TCG Pocket. This set was made by Avalon and Shrimp Soda, and it's called Lights, Camera, Battle. I'm excited to review it, and I'm very thankful for them letting us review it. Now, without a further ado, let's check out what this set has in store. Ladybug, Comet Punch, flip 3 coins. This attack does 10 damage for each heads. That's a pretty good starting move. Ledian, this attack does 10 more damage for each turn this Pokemon has been in play. What's the max total amount of turns a person can have? I see the play, but it's going to be very tricky to use. This seems like a bench warmer you might want to bring in to finish off. Yeah, no, this is fun. I like this. Volbeat. If one of your Illumies, or whatever, how do you pronounce Illumies? I think it's Illumies. Use Energizing Pheromone during your last turn. This attack does 60 more damage. And has no retreat. That's actually really good. But I want to know what Energizing Pheromone is. Attach one. Oh, attach 1 leaf energy from Marriage Zone. That's really good. That's actually really good. I could see this being a card that could happen one day. I don't think it's unbalanced at all. I think it's really good. Roselia. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now poison. That's fair. Balance 50 HP. If your active Pokemon has damage on it, this attack does 40 more damage for Rose Raid. That's 70 damage. That seems almost unnecessary. I feel like there's a lot of stage 1s that just do 70 damage. But I get what it's going for. You could probably make that 50 more damage at least. Or maybe I'm wrong. I'm not sure. If this Pokemon has any leaf energy attached, its retreat cost is 1 extra. And it takes 20 less damage from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. That's interesting. So it gets less retreat, but it gets about 60 HP. I don't know. I'm not sure what the point of that ability is. But I guess it's unique. Swaloon, take 1 leaf energy from your discard pile and attach it to one of your Pokemon. That's actually not bad, even for just a regular Pokemon. That's actually pretty. That's a pretty good move. Leave any. If your active Pokemon has any leaf energy attached, that Pokemon can't be affected by any special conditions. So this kind of was predicted Ogerpon, I think, or something like that. This isn't bad. Very niche, but it just does 70 damage. You can make this do 80 damage at least, because the ability isn't really that good. Petalil, put a random card that evolves from Petalil from your deck into your hand. This is really good for Lilligant, especially the one that gives health to grass types. Might be balanced. I think it's fun, at least. I'm not sure why you would want Petalil to be your front runner anyway. So this is why. Hisuian Lilligant. Ability Exceptional Blossom. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, do 20 damage to 2 of your opponent's banished Pokemon. With Petalil being a front runner, and this is 80 damage, and it's their banished Pokemon, this is strong. Especially with grass support, obviously. I mean, who really needs the Petalil attack when you have quick grow to just immediately evolve it? And with that, even, it's kind of insane. This would be used in a lot of decks, but it's also fair to the point where I could see why this would be possible. I like it. I like Hisuian Lilligant. Alolan Marowak. So this one has the immediate 2 energy. If you have a supporter card, does 120 damage for 3 fire energy. Discard the top 2 cards of your deck. Really strong. Like immediate aggro. Obviously costs evolution, so it's not a hugely strong card, especially when it's discarding 2 cards. This is pretty good. I wouldn't see it as any meta threat, even though it's incredibly strong, but it's good. I like this. Victini, I love Victini. Whenever you play this Pokemon from your hand into your bench, do 20 damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. And the attack is colorless. So this is immediate aggro play. You never want this guy to be your front runner because then the ability won't work. This is fun. I like it. Might be too strong, especially for fire types, but I think it's fine. Actually, no, it's for every type. This works for anything. I don't know. It's really good. It's really good. Litwick. This Pokemon takes 10 less damage from your opponent's dark Pokemon. Boo-hoo. Lampent, 40 damage from burn. Chandelier EX, I love it. Once during your turn, when you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, you may switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active spot. So it is like an immediate Cyrus just from evolution. Does 100 damage for 3 energy, mostly fire. 180 health. This is really good. I love this. It's incredibly strong. Yeah, no, I would play this. Very fun. Oricorio Flame style, or whatever it's called. Your opponent's active Pokemon is burned. This attack does 40 more damage. Okay. Fuecoco. Love it. 30 damage, 70 health. Crackalore, 100 HP. If your opponent's active Pokemon... Oh, your opponent's active Pokemon is not burned, so that's 60 damage. Skeledirge, or... I think that's how you say his name. Soulful Dirge. Once during your turn, you may put 1 random basic Pokemon from your discard pile into your hand. This attack does 50 damage for each time your Pokemon used the Soulful Dirge ability this game. You'd want a Pokemon that could discard itself, or some sort of effect where you can discard... Oh, Alolan Marowak. Alolan Marowak discards Pokemon of your deck. Do you get to choose what Pokemon you or what card from your deck you I don't know. You probably don't. And that's fun. You just really need the supporter card. Whoever the fire trainer is in Pokemon Sun and Moon. I don't know. I like this. Maybe if there's more obvious support for it, it'd be more useful. Because really, you can only go up to like 100 damage with this. 150 if you somehow discard a Pokemon without knockout. 200 if you somehow discard 2 without knockout. I see the potential. I just don't know how I would go about it. I like it. Moving on to water type. Seal, 10 damage, 70 HP. No 2 retreat. I feel like maybe that's fine. Dewgong. Discard a fire energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. Who doesn't love nichely effective moves against certain types? That stuff is always meta threat. I'm kidding. But it's fun. Dewgong will never be useful. Maybe one day. Carvana. 40 damage, no retreat because of the 50 HP. 2 energy. That's fun. That's fun. Sharpedo. If you didn't use any of your Pokemon's attacks during your last turn, this attack does 60 more damage. So this could just start out with 100 damage, and then you can just keep going on with 40 if you don't want to skip a turn. Could wait on your bench. You could do a lot with this. It's strong. 90 HP keeps it kind of balanced. I like it. This is fun. Mega Sharpedo. That is a beautiful card. For 3 water energy, you could do 80 damage plus. If you didn't use any Pokemon's attacks from your last turn, this attack does 100 more damage. So that's 180 damage if you just skip a turn. That is so cool. And even then, there's plenty of ways you can make that work. Greninja Cyrus, you could just probably knock out a basic Mega Or, you know, maybe you could just do Lyra play maybe, so you can get Mega Sharpedo out of the active spot, put some other Pokemon in the front to keep Mega Sharpedo from being knocked out. It kind of loses to Cyrus. I see the play. This is a really fun concept. I love it. Boizel. During your first turn, this attack has no energy cost. That makes sense. With the HP, no one's gonna bat an eye at 20 damage. I like it. Float Soul. No. Boizel works really good with the promo. I'm not saying his name right, but I don't care. Works really good with the promo. Attack the wound. Very strong. I like it. That's fun. Float Soul. This Pokemon move from your bench to the active spot this turn. This attack does 50 more damage. So yeah, that's good. That just does 90 damage. Has 2 retreats, so it's not making life easy, but I see the play. Sobble. Love Sobble. Cowardly Retreat. If this Pokemon is in the active spot and is damaged by an attack from opponent's Pokemon, switch it with one of your bench Pokemon. That's really good. That's really good. Really good ability. 20 damage for 1 energy, 50 HP. 2 retreat. I mean, I get it with the ability. With the ability. But I don't think it needs 2 retreat. The ability isn't that OP. I don't know, maybe it is. But whatever. It doesn't matter because the ability helps. Drizzile. 30 damage for 1 energy. Does 20 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. A fairly strong move. Middle evolutions obviously need to be fairly strong. So, fairly strong. Inteleon. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during this turn, you may reveal your opponent's hand and choose one card you find there to shuffle into their deck. That's really good. That's like Silver. That's strong. Basically Silver for stage 2. The attack is Sniper Shot, does 60 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. This is a very fun card. I would love to play this. Could come in if Sobble is sent to your bench from the ability. You could keep Inteleon on your back, evolve it into Inteleon, and then that ability helps support you. And then if your opponent like retreats a Pokemon that you need to KO but you can't Cyrus, Inteleon goes in and snipes it. It's very fun. Plusle. This attack does 20 damage for each electric energy attached to your Minun. Makes sense. Minun. Flip a coin. If heads, take a random energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon and attach it to this Pokemon as a electric energy. That's fun. You could get really cheesy with that. The only thing is it'd be very tricky to play because retreat costs, so you're going to want to run XP'd. But otherwise, that's fun. Rotom. Put a random Pokemon tool card from your deck into your hand. 10 damage for 1 electric energy. Yeah, no, it's alright. Blitzel. No retreat is always good. Zebstrika. If this Pokemon has a Pokemon tool attached, attacks used by this Pokemon cost 1 less electric energy. So it's just doing 50 damage with a Pokemon tool card. That's fun. I could see the play. Comes in handy with just electric types in general being speedy. Having this really speedy Zebra be incredibly fast and able to retreat. Super good. Emolga. Deal 30 damage from one of your bench electric Pokemon. 10 damage, 1 electric energy. That's pretty good. I could see the play. Joltik. Ability. You can't use this ability during your first turn. Once during your turn, you may attach this card to one of your electric Pokemon as a Pokemon tool. This card provides 1 electric energy only while it's attached to a Pokemon, and its attack lets you put it into your hand. Okay, that's incredibly good for just electric types and in general. You have essentially an energy card in your hand, and the risk is it could be your front runner. I get it. That's fun. Galvantula, 80 damage, 80 HP. I'm not sure if that's balanced, but who cares? It's probably mid by today's standards. I don't know. But obviously, the real point of this card's existence is Joltik. Joltik is incredibly fun. Iron Thorns EX. I'm excited for this card. Boot up sequence. At the start of your first turn, take a electric energy from your energy zone and attach it to this Pokemon. So if you're going second, this guy just immediately attacks and discharge Ray. This attack does 30 damage for each electric energy attached to this Pokemon. So that's 60 damage and going further, 90, 120, 150. Wow. And what, 150 HP? That's incredibly pressuring. You know? Like at the start of your turn, this guy is doing 60 damage. That's gonna knock out a lot of just basic Pokemon. That's, I don't know. I don't think this is balanced. Especially with, if they somehow knock out Iron Thorns, you could just put the discharge tool card or whatever it is to take all electric energy that you built up on, or most of the electric energy built up on this Pokemon, like 2, and attach it to one of your bench. And with like Magnemite, Magneton, with the elemental switch cards, I would say this is too strong. You could maybe do 1 extra electric energy to make this card work, so it's not an immediate aggro, but it's aggro enough to be fun. Otherwise, this is just, it's way too aggro, and I just don't think it's balanced. But it's a very beautiful card. Unknown. 60 HP. Ability return. Whenever your active non-EX Pokemon is knocked out when attacked from your opponent's Pokemon, put it and all cards attached to it into your hand instead of the discard pile. That is a little unbalanced, I think. The attack is in power, does 10 damage. It's pretty much useless. This implies your opponent can't get any points from it. Oh no, wait, they do get points from it. They get points from it. You just get a chance to replace that Pokemon. If that's true, then this is fun. This is a fun card. If it's not true, then obviously it's unbalanced. But I'm gonna go with my second option, the latter. That would be balanced. This is fun. This would be incredibly crazy for metas. You could just return a card back down there. In all previous evolutions. Really fun. Woobat. 10 damage, you can immediately confuse your opponent. I think that's pretty cool. Swoobat. This attack does 30 damage for each psychic Pokemon in your bench. So it does about 90 damage if you have a full bench. That's pretty balanced considering Sylveon and the previous evolution doing confusion. This is fun. I could see huge play from this. Mega Audino. This is really cool. 80 damage for 3 normal energy, so you can put whatever you want on it. If you played a supporter card from your hand during this turn, this attack also does 60 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Incredibly strong, no. Strong enough? Yeah. This is almost like Mega Kangaskhan as of currently. But maybe a little stronger just with the need for supporter usage. It has 2 retreat, has a lot of psychic support on it. I think this is fun. A very, very good card. Not too OP, but very good. Elgium or whatever. I think it's Elgium, I don't know. Confused Ray. This is Swoobat, but colorless. I see. Behem Abduction. Shuffle a random supporter card from your discard pile into your deck. For 30 damage. Ooh. That's Professor's Research replay. Wow. Okay. You could also Nurse Joy. I don't even think I even need to name off all this. This is balanced, I think. I think this is balanced. I don't know. I think Professor's Research repeat is almost a little too mean. Could be better with maybe 2 energy, 40 damage, 80 HP, just to make it not strong, not too quick. Because Professor's Research repeat, that's a little insane. But otherwise, I really like this concept. Maybe they'll make a card like this someday. I wouldn't put it against them to make something kind of unbalanced like this, but I think it's fun. Meloetta. Echoed Voice for 1 psychic energy, 10 damage. During your next turn, this Pokemon's Echoed Voice attack does 40 damage. So, starts off with 10, does 50. It's missing the 10 plus, but that's alright. I'm not going to be nitpicky. Balance-wise, this is fine. This is okay. This is like an unimmediate Hitmonchan EX. Might be better, but what makes Hitmonchan EX good is that it can be instant. This just focuses on saying it up, not being too instant. Very fun. Mimikyu. Prevent all damage by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon that have abilities except Shadow Guard. Wait. Prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon that have abilities except Shadow Guard. Okay, so Mimikyu could fight a Mimikyu, I get it. Anti-Oricorio, it's actually anti a lot of good Pokemon, Greninja EX. I think this is fun. It's also anti-Greninja too, so it can't really be taken out that easily. Fun. I like it. No, this would be really good for the meta. Machop, flip 2 coins, this deck does 20 damage for each heads. Gamba. Machoke, 40 damage, heals 20. That's pretty good. Machamp, 90 damage for 2 fighting energy, 1 colorless. This attack does 30 more damage for each point you have gotten. So that's, hold on, math, 150 damage. That's good. Yeah, no, that's really good. Imagine having Lucario 190 damage on your Machamp. Fighting types, I've noticed, are a lot about, if you're willing to go the extra way to build up the fighting energy to make that attack happen, then you can do some crazy stuff. This is fun. I think this is balanced. I like it. Cubone, we saw a little Marowak earlier. It's just 10 damage, 70 HP. I guess a lot of the theme of this deck so far is 70 HP without the 2 retreat because they do 10 damage. It's balanced, I guess. Minior, 80 HP. Just as... Oh, okay, so it's fighting Farfetch'd with doing 10 damage to itself. I don't think it should beat itself up that much over 40 damage. I feel like Kartana is way stronger, and he gets Ultra Beast support. Especially with the 2 retreat, I mean, give him a break. But, no, this is pretty good. Galarian Surfetched? Hold up, did I miss Galarian Farfetch'd? Maybe it's just not here yet, I don't know. Galarian Surfetched. Chosen One ability. At the start of your first turn, you may choose to put this card from your deck into your hand. You can't use more than 1 chosen ability in the game. So, this is just saying you have the ability to instantly have Galarian Surfetched. That's insane. Let's see the attack. During next turn, this Pokemon's meteor blade attack does 50 more damage. Talk about aggro. I really want to see Galarian Farfetch'd because talk about aggro. Especially with the Lucario support, this can go to 140 damage. Talk about aggro. I'm not sure if this is balanced. But, I won't deny it's a very fun concept. It's not like we haven't had worse aggro. 140 HP too. I mean, maybe make it so the ability ends the turn. Well, at the start of your first turn, the ability only works for the start of your first turn. Okay, so I get it now. You have to rely on starting with Glaring Farfetch'd. So you could maybe do Surfetched 16 supporter cards or whatever. It's very aggro, but it's also pretty fun. I'm not gonna hate on it. I like it. Gligar, 10 damage, and your opponent's active Pokemon is poisoned. Gliscor. When this Pokemon is in the active spot, whenever your opponent's active Pokemon takes damage from being poisoned, heal that same amount of damage from this Pokemon. So you're gonna run Nihilego and like heal damage from Gliscor repeatedly. Does 90 damage, and you have to discard an energy. The fact that Gliscor doesn't, he has like 100 HP. You're gonna want to give this card like maybe 120 HP because the attack is really unreliant, and healing from 100 HP, that's never gonna be enough, I think, because opponents are always gonna, they're gonna outspeed you really quickly. Any chance of this card being useful relies on higher HP, maybe Lucario. That'd be about 130 damage. I don't know. Seems like good filler. I mean, every trading card game pack needs some filler cards in there to make way for the cooler cards. So honestly, not bad for filler. I'll give it that. Riolu, flip a coin. If heads, this attack does 3 more damage. Not bad. Not a bad chance card, especially with 50 HP. The Fighting Meloetta. Sacred Melody. Take 1 fighting energy from your energy zone for each fighting Pokemon on your bench and attach 1 to each. Then discard this Pokemon and all cards attached to it. Fighting Ramp, but with sort of a cost. You could essentially put 1 fighting energy on each of your fighting bench Pokemon, as long as you discard Meloetta in the end. That's pretty good. I would have fun with that. Zorua. During your next turn, your opponent's active Pokemon takes 20 more damage from attacks. Okay. Zoroark EX, alright. 70 damage for 2 dark energy. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck and put a supporter card you find there into your hand. That's really good. Love a support finder. Comes in handy for a lot of dark decks. This is a really good front runner, especially within the probably 90 damage from Zorua. I like this. This is fun. Very, very cool card. Pawniard, 10 damage, 60 HP. This is dark type. Bisharp. 1 dark energy, 1 colorless. 30 plus. This deck does 20 more damage for each of your benched Pokemon. So about 90 damage. This is just like Swoobat almost, except you can rely on it to always do 30 damage. I mean, hey, love Bisharp. Are we gonna get Kingambit? Yes, that makes sense. 130 HP. This Pokemon has 20 plus HP for each point your opponent has taken. So that 130 HP could go up to 170 HP. That's really good. And the attack does 110 damage. 110 damage for 3 colorless. You can almost argue that it's balanced because the reason why Magnezone discards energy is because Magneton ramps it. Maybe. And the only way Kingambit is going to be really good if it has a strong attack. Not sure why 3 colorless is necessary. So you can mix it with steel types. But the middle evolution already isn't colorless. No, Pawniard was colorless, but Bisharp isn't colorless. I don't think this is necessary. I think you could just make the attack dark type. Because dark types don't have ramp. It's more fair that way. I would just have the attack be mainly dark type prominent. Volibeye, 20 damage, 80 HP for 2 retreat cost, pretty bulky. Mandibuzz. Underestimating Beak does 120 damage to your opponent's Oh, it can only do damage to EX Pokemon. That's good. And the fact that it's 2 colorless, 1 dark energy, that allows some form of baby ramp. So I see the play. Not sure if it would work in actuality. I think you can make the 60 damage plus 60 if your opponent's like Pokemon is an EX. That seems more fair to make it more playable. But if you really want to go the route of it can only attack EX, that's fine too, because it's a hefty amount of damage. It's almost worth it, I would say. Toxel, 20 damage. Your opponent's next Pokemon is now poisoned and confused, so that's like 40 damage is worth, but 30 damage plus confusion. Not bad. I like it. Toxtricity. Noxious Solo does 80 damage. If your opponent's active Pokemon is poisoned, discard the top card of your opponent's deck. And it's 2 colorless, 1 dark, so it's baby friendly. Not bad. This is a nice concept, just discarding because your opponent's poisoned. Magnemite Metal. Take 1 randomized card from your discard pile and put it into your hand. Magneton. Once during your turn, while this Pokemon is in the active spot, you may shuffle a random item card from your discard pile into your deck. So this is safety. I wonder what Magnezone's gonna do. Magnezone EX, Steel type, of course, that's cool. 50 damage just for 2 metal energy. Junk Cannon, 2 metal energy, 1 colorless, 50 plus. You may discard any number of item cards from your hand. This attack does 50 more damage for each item you discard in this way. Okay, so hold on. Item card. You know, was I saying tool card? I don't know. The item cards. So this is all about item cards. This is 50 more damage. So you could do a lot, any number of item cards. You could just put a bunch of item cards in this. Magnezone would be KOing a lot of Pokemon. Especially with the instant ramp. I can't say with confidence this is balanced. Maybe 4 steel energy, I think. Just to make sure that they take their time building this. Or no, I think that's the right direction, especially with the 3 retreat costs. This is gonna be with there's a tool card, I forget what it's called, if it's heavy helmet or something. It's gonna take less damages. That's already bad enough for steel types. I don't know. This is a little too strong in my opinion. You could be doing 200 damage with this on average if you really just focus a bunch on item cards. But, you know, steel type barely has ramp. You're gonna have to focus on a Dialga. It's a fun concept, just maybe 1 extra steel energy for Junk Cannon. I don't know. I think that, but it's fun. I love it. I love Magnezone. Aaron. During your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes 20 less damage from attacks. Makes sense. 70 HP. I feel like this deserves 2 retreat cost. Laren. 100 HP. During your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes 30 less damage. And it does 30 damage, so it's about 60 damage fairly, but it splits it off to do taking 30 less damage. Fair for a middle evolution. Aggron. This Pokemon takes 10 less damage from attacks for each steel energy attached to it. Okay. And the attack is just stomp, 70 damage, 3 steel, so at least you're going to want to be taking 30 less damage, which is pretty good. But if you just really spam Dialga on this guy, he could get up to monumental amounts of defense. I like it. It's fun. Lucario. What? Each of your steel Pokemon get plus 20 HP. Hold up. So this guy can get a bunch of HP. So we're talking about 40 extra HP. Spam Dialga on him. With the right play, this could go places. I love it. Very fun. Darulidon does 80 damage with the cost of 30 damage to itself. I see the play. Very strong. Oh, Archulidon. 130 damage for 4 steel energy during your opponent's next turn. Whenever your opponent switches their active Pokemon to their bench, do 30 damage to the new active Pokemon. That's really strong. Dialga is going to be carrying the steel type meta. Shuffle a random card in your opponent's hand into their deck with 70 damage just for a basic Latios. I think that's pretty good. Mega Latios is, I'm assuming this is before we got the promo. Let's see if this is better than the promo. 100 damage on a basic. I mean, that makes sense. Your opponent shuffles cards from their hand into their deck until they have the same number of cards in their hand as you. So this can almost help them, copycat style. I'm not sure if you consider that a drawback because you could support your opponent. And the main selling point for this is that it's 100 damage for a basic Pokemon. Very strong, but it makes sense for a Mega Dragon type. Way better than the one we got in the promo. So, and it looks visually beautiful. I love it. Jangmo-o. This Pokemon takes 10 less damage from attacks and does 20 damage for just 1 electric energy. Pretty good. Hakamo-o, 70 damage for electric and fighting energy, 80 HP. Good middle evolution. Como-o, or whatever. Como-o. Yeah, Como-o. 140 HP. This Pokemon takes 20 less damage from attacks and does 100 damage for electric, fighting, and basic. That is really good. At least I think that's a good amount of damage. Good. It's almost like Melmetal. Actually, you could make this stronger. Maybe have this be 20 less damage for each Pokemon on your bench. Or would that be too strong? I don't know. You could either maybe make it 150 HP, 110 damage, or maybe it's balanced the way it is. I just feel like it's missing something to make it, kind of a strong, hefty dragon type. But, maybe it's fine by itself. I think it's fine by itself, so I'm not going to criticize it for being not too OP. But in my opinion, I would design it to be like a little bit stronger, like 110 damage. I don't think anyone would be crying if it did that. Jigglypuff. Expand 10 damage while taking less 10 damage. Pretty good. Wigglytuff. Your opponent's active Pokemon is asleep. This attack does 40 more damage. You're going to want to put promo Jigglypuff in there to make this really strong. Do about 110 damage. Not bad at all. Actually, not bad at all. You could have some fun with this. Ditto. Everything Evolution. This Pokemon can evolve into any Pokemon. That's essentially what it says. It can evolve into any Pokemon it wants. Or, well, only stage 1. That's fun. Not sure why you would use it. It's 30 HP. I can't imagine the previous evolution could be that bad. Maybe they have a high retreat cost or something. I don't know. Ditto's always getting the okay builds. So whatever. It's cute. You could maybe make it a baby Pokemon just to make it feel a little better. Smeargle. 60 HP. Once during your turn, you may choose any of the types of energy. If you do choose one of your Pokemon, the type that is the type of the energy that you chose. So you can just change one of the energy attached to one of your Pokemon to the type it is. So if there's an electric energy and a Darkrai, I can change that energy to a dark energy once during my turn. This is interesting play. This is good for maybe like Oricorio with Dragonite. You know what I'm saying? That makes sense. Who doesn't love a good Smeargle card? Whismur. Both active Pokemon are not confused for 10 damage. Supersonic Tantrum. I love that name. That sounds like it belongs to a more powerful card. Loudred. Boombane. If your opponent's active Pokemon is confused, this attack does 60 more damage. And that Pokemon recovers from that special condition. So it can heal them of confusion and then just do 90 damage. That's pretty good by itself. Especially with Whismur support. That's pretty good by itself. But Exploud, this attack does 50 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon? That is a little much. I would say 40 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. If you like, I love the concept, but you're essentially making a more efficient Dragonite. Basic from you're making a more efficient genetic Apex Dragonite. 40 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. That would be more balanced, I think. That would be more balanced. Especially with the 3 retreat, you're giving it heavy helmet support or whatever the tool card is. It can take 20 less damage. Pretty strong. 40 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon would be better. Kecleon. If this Pokemon has 2 or more different types of energy attached, prevent all effects of attacks used by your opponent's Pokemon done to this Pokemon. That's okay. Well, maybe that's actually really good, but overall very niche. Not bad for dragon type decks, especially since it's a chameleon, it's like a lizard, so it's cool that it works with dragon types. Bunary, switch this Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon for 10 damage. Lopunny, if you play a supporter card from your hand during this turn, attacks used by this Pokemon cost 1 normal less. One colorless less. Okay, so you could just do 40 damage for no energy as long as you play a supporter card. That's alright. That's pretty balanced, but also fun. Not bad filler. We got ourselves a colorless Mega Lopunny. 3 colorless, 60 plus damage. If your opponent has exactly 2 points, this attack does 100 more damage. Ooh. Passimian, you run this with Passimian. Yup. Run this with Passimian and you can just do 160, just exactly that. Or you could just sacrifice baby Pokemon. Do that and eventually build a Mega Lopunny. And you're doing 160 damage. That's really good. I love it. I don't know. Draw cards until you have 3 cards in your hand. So this is Mars support. Or actually, no, this is really good if you just use a ball of cards in your hand during the beginning of the game. You can just draw 3 cards. This isn't bad at all. Letter of Admission, we're finally getting to supporter trainer cards. I mean, just trainer cards. Letter of Admission. If one of your opponent's Pokemon is knocked out during your last turn, look at 2 random supporter cards from your deck, put one of them into your hand, and put the other back into your deck. So this is good supporter searching. I think that's balanced. This is fun. Love it. Pokegear. Choose a supporter card in your hand and switch it with a random supporter in your deck. So more supporter searching item cards here. I guess this comes in handy for decks that rely a lot on a certain supporter, or, you know, if you just really need that Professor's Research. I think it's balanced. Redeemable ticket. Draw a card for each point you have taken. Hey, so this could be a Professor's Research later in the game. That's really cool. Definitely a staple card. I would run one of these in at least almost every deck if it fits, you know? That makes sense. VIP pass. I love all these tickets, letter of admission. I mean, yeah, it's very fun. VIP pass. You can use this card only during your first turn. Draw 1 random basic Pokemon and put 1 random item card that isn't VIP pass from your deck into your hand, then shuffle. Only during your first turn, I see. This feels like an extra Professor's Research. But if you don't have it in your hand at your first turn, it becomes a burden almost. It's just a dead card in your deck. So it's probably balanced in that way where it could just take up extra space if it isn't useful. So that's fun. Again, more tickets, more cards and whatnot. Blunder Policy. If the Pokemon this card is attached to uses an attack. Oh wait, we're getting into tool cards now. Okay. flip a coin. Flip any coins for the damage or effect of that attack. If any of them are tails, draw one card at the end of your turn. So this is for coin flipping attacks. And this is making up for if you get tails. That's cool. That's really cool. This is good for just like early game coin flippers, like mouse hold or whatever. This is a really fun card. This buffs coin flips so much. Choice Band. The attacks of the Pokemon this card is attached to do 10 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon EX. Hey, who doesn't love EX bullying? That's fun. Twisted Mirror. If the Pokemon this card is attached to becomes affected by a special condition, your opponent's active Pokemon is affected by special condition 2. Love that. Screw poison decks. Pearl. When the Pokemon this card is attached to is knocked out by damage from your opponent's Pokemon, draw a card. Ooh, okay, that's good. That's pretty good. I think it's fine actually. Bellaba. I don't know how to say her name. Bellaba. You can use this card only if you discard another card from your hand. Put 2 random basic Psychic Pokemon from your deck into your hand. Okay. This is a buffed Psychic Pokeball. Not bad. Bryson Man. You can use this card only if you shuffle 2 other random cards from your hand into your deck. Choose 2 cards in your opponent's hand and shuffle them into your deck. Oh, okay. So you both shuffle 2 cards into your deck, and you get to choose the one that your opponent shuffles. That's pretty cheesy. That's some good spice right there. I enjoy that. Crash or Wake. Choose 2 of your Floatzel, Sharpedo, and Mega Sharpedo EX. For each of those Pokemon, take a water energy from your engine and attach it to that Pokemon. For the rest of this turn, choose those Pokemon can't attack. That's actually really good. I can't remember if Floatzel was good, but I know that Sharpedo is really good, so adding on to that sort of aggro nature makes Mega Sharpedo really strong, makes Sharpedo really, really strong too. Floatzel is probably okay. Actually, for all Floatzel in general, and actually the drawback here is pretty good. Makes it fair. This is a good supporter card. This probably makes Sharpedo and Mega Sharpedo meta material, I think. But who knows? Lisa. Discard all Pokemon tool cards attached to your active electric Pokemon. During this turn, attacks used by your Pokemon that Pokemon do 40 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. Okay. This is the electric buff of the century. I think we really need this. You could just take any of the tool cards that you want, cape, the electrical cord thing, and if they're not useful, sacrifice them, do 40 more damage. Raichu, who I think does 120 or 130, I don't know, does up to about 160 or 170, I can't remember. I think it's just 160, but this is a good buff for electric types in general. Heliolisk, that's doing a lot of damage. Really strong. I mean, Magnezone even. This is incredibly strong, actually. I don't know if this is balanced, but it's fair. It's fair because of the discard rule. So, I love it. Very fair. Rosa. During your opponent's next turn, they can't play any Pokemon from the hand to evolve their active Pokemon. Okay, this definitely... I feel like if I had this in my hand, I'd be less scared of a lot of Rampardos or Greninja. This is fun. Oh no, they're active Pokemon. I'm so stupid. I'm actually stupid. I wish this would work for bench. Maybe just bench. I mean, this is pretty good. if you're scared of their active Pokemon KOing you. But I really just hate benched evolutioners. Maybe make Rosa only target benched Pokemon, so their active Pokemon has to fight you fairly. That's what I would do. TV reporter. Your opponent reveals their hand during your opponent's next turn. Your Pokemon takes 10 less damage from attacks for each support card you find there. And if your opponent has no supporter cards in their hand, your Pokemon take 10 more damage from attacks during their next turn. What? That I couldn't have thought of a more fun card. I love just the supporter punishment here. Love the concept here. That kind of makes me chuckle. I love it. Might be my favorite supporter card here. Oh, and here we go to the beautiful art here. Hisuian Lilligant looks elegant. Chandelier looks beautiful. Mega Sharpedo looks beautiful. Iron Thorn looks beautiful. Mega Audino looks beautiful. Galarian Surfetch. I don't know if you guys have made the Galarian Farfetch'd yet. That's fine. That might have been the card that, because most of this looked finished, but it seems that there are some aspects that haven't been finished. So my bad if this wasn't fully ready yet. But you guys did say we could review it, so I'm not gonna judge. I'm guessing Galarian Farfetch'd is probably balanced. But anywho, beautiful. Zoroark looks beautiful. Magnezone, beautiful. Megaladios, ooh, I like that. Megalopunny looks good. Bryson Man looks gorgeous. Crasher Wake looks gorgeous. Lisa looks gorgeous. Rose looks gorgeous. TV Reporter, the best card in the game, looks gorgeous. Full arts, hey. These are nice. This one's pretty good. I like this one, even though you can't even see his face. Zoroark, very fun. Ooh, he's like an electric storm or something. Cool. This is the what is it? Immersive. Can I click it? I can imagine a pretty cool animation here. And that is the whole set. I don't know if shinies are finished yet or not, but I'm assuming shinies probably don't matter. All in all, I loved this set. It opened my mind to a lot of interesting concepts. My favorite card is probably, let's just go back. Wait, no. Hold up. Probably, maybe Mega Sharpedo. Could you imagine just Crash Awake and then doing 180 damage for 2 energy? Maybe that's a little unbalanced, but I like it. It makes sense for a Mega. So works fine. Sawbull looks beautiful. Maybe it's Inteleon. I think Inteleon's concept is really neat because it can be super useful. My favorite EX, probably maybe this Megaladios. I can't recall if any of the EXs truly caught my eye. Actually, you know what? I will say Hisuian Lilligant has to be visually, I don't know why it's so appealing to me, but visually my favorite. And Chandelier is my favorite EX out of the whole set. The ability, just so fun. It's probably the most safe out of a lot of them, but I think the concept is just so powerful that it stands on its own as a neat concept. All in all, I really like this set. Very supportive. Let's go back to, so you made it. Shrimp Soda and Avalon. Great job at this set. You know, not perfect, but nothing is perfect. Everyone makes little mistakes, and like you said, it's probably still being edited on. So all mistakes forgiven, you know. But yeah, beautiful set. I'll look forward to the next one made by either of you or both of you if you return to collab. But thank you for letting me review the set. This has been Garlic Bread reviewing Lights Camera Battle, signing off.